All right, Tiger. First thing I'm here to talk about is that it's been 30 years since your first pro start. Would you mind taking us back to that time in your life?
As we anticipate his first event on the PGA Tour as a professional,
And it ended up, that interview became kind of iconic. We've all seen it.
I'll turn it over to Tiger Woods.
I guess. Hello world, huh?
How hectic was that first week?
Yeah, that week was a blur because I just came off winning the amateur. And so got to Milwaukee, try on some clothes, and next thing you know, I've got all these swooshes on and do a press conference, which I can barely remember. It was just a whirlwind.
I think more than anything, it's been a little hectic, obviously. But in general, it's everything that I've looked forward to.
I just wanted to actually hit a golf ball. Yeah, just get all the stuff that as you know, it's just you're unfamiliar with, and go do something that I know I can do. Just get on the golf course.
Yeah.
And so once I got on the golf course, it was cool. That first tee shot, when I hit my first tee shot at Riv when I was 16, I'll never forget that. I was totally fine, teed up the ball, practice swing, no big deal. And when I took the club back, it felt like it took 10 seconds to get to the top, which I had never felt before. And so I thought it was going to be like that on my first tee shot as a pro. And when I took it back, I got to the top of the swing too fast. And so I just jumped out of the way as hard as I possibly could, cleared my hips as fast as I could, and I ripped it right down the middle. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, we're good. Yeah. And on Saturday, I made a hole-in-one, so it was a good start.
Well, that obviously set in motion a massive change over the next year. You had a huge jump from then till now with obviously prize money. The total prize money awarded on the PGA Tour that year was $96 million. Now it's going to exceed $400 million. Not only that, but the rounds played between 96 and 97, there was a jump of 63 million rounds played. So there was certainly obviously an impact immediately, but also trickles down to the rest of us. Can you reflect on that 30 years of influence that now we're experiencing?
You know, Spiether, it was interesting, that whole wave that they called Tiger Mania at that time.
Do you ever wonder, looking back, all this attention so young, do you ever think to yourself, where did this come from?
I do. I really do. Because it's wild.
It was weird because golf just literally got onto the front pages for the first time.
You don't have to know what a birdie or a bogey is to love my guest today, because Tiger Woods transcends golf.
And this is pre-cell phone, so that pre-social media.
Nice.
It was different because there were more camera crews, because that's the only way that they could get any kind of photos or information. Literally everyone who's walking around is a film crew. It was just like a mobs of cameras following inside the ropes, and there was hundreds of media credentialed people inside the ropes. So that was a challenge in itself. And one of the reasons why I focused as hard as I did is to try and block all that out. But then the excitement of all the people, they wanted to see, and it was just a wave. I ended up winning early in Vegas.
Did you ever dream it could happen this fast?
Kind of, but it's really hard to describe the feeling.
Disney beat Payne. And then I get to the Tour Championship and win at La Costa. Next, you know, which would have been my spring break, my junior year. I happened to win that place at Augusta that you know very well.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Not sure which one you would have had more fun at, to be honest.
That's right. So a lot changed very quickly in my life, and it was hard to get used to, because I wasn't used to it. I mean, I had people following, and I had galleries in collegiate golf and amber golf, but nothing like this. No one was prepared for it. No one had any experience in any of this. And so it was just a wild time. Now we kind of got used to it, and it's a totally different world. But at that time, it was crazy.
Oh, he's running after it. He ran after it.
Who are you like you said, had never been experienced before. So you don't have anyone necessarily that has.
In our sport.
Right, but so who were people in our sport and maybe outside our sport in that time that if you had to reach out to anybody to just say, man, how to, I know you're so focused, you obviously handled it so incredibly well, but in that time period you had to have at times felt a little chip in the armor, like I got to bounce something off somebody.
Yeah, the only two people that really understood kind of what I was going through was obviously MJ, what he experienced with the Bulls in all those years, and just the mania, but with the Bulls, and then winning all those championships and just the mobs of people. And the other one who's about my age, that made his major league debut in '96 was Jeets. And so Jeets and I and MJ, we would meet up and where the Bulls are playing in New York, and I'd come in and we'd go to a Yankee game or we'll go to the Bulls game or whatever it is, and we'd all hang out and kind of chit chat. And I was picking their brain.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
You're in Chicago doing your thing, MJ, and it's crazy. It's crazy around the league. Jeets, you're in the biggest media market in the world. How are you handling this? And you're a little bit older than I am, but still, this is all new to you. How are you dealing with it? And Jeets and I were trying to figure out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was cool to bounce stuff off of those two guys at that particular time, because as I said, it was just a different world. No social media, no nothing, no camera phones, none of that. It was just a lot of it was hearsay, written media.
Yeah.
Just hearsay. Oh, he did this, he did that.
Kept that for yourself.
No, it was just a crazy time. But we were all kind of going through it together.
Think he could probably get a 7 or 8 iron on it, and he may get it all the way up there.
Look at this. Look at this. He thinks strength is not an advantage. It's just not a fair fight. No, it really isn't, Roger.
We'll shift over to fitness. I just came from a gym here, and I just ran into Novak's asking where the gym is. Bobby Mack's in there working out. Everybody's doing it. I imagine that wasn't the case in the 90s and 2000s. What were you doing then? And then can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing now and maybe how that'll help guys going forward, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was a runner, so I ran all the time. I ran to school, ran home from school, I ran cross country. So I was always running. And so running was just part of my life. Started to lift weights to run faster. And so cross country coach made us do, endless wall sits, lunges, and anything, glute work, explosiveness, endurance, lactate training. And then I just applied it to golf because the fitter my legs got, the faster I ran, the better I played.
Another Tiger comeback completed. And with it, golf history. 3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships for Tiger Woods.
It was just a different time. Got to college, was still lifting. Lifted with other sports just because, we didn't really do that in golf at that time. And when I got on tour, the stronger I got, the more endurance I had. The more endurance I had, the more I was able to run. The more I ran, the less tired I got. The less tired I got, the more I could practice. And the more I practiced, the more I won.
Again, Tiger Woods prevails.
It just fed into itself, and I just got into this cycle. And so at that time, call it 97 to about 01-ish, I'd run anywhere between 30 to 35 miles a week, sometimes a little bit more during tournament weeks.
During tournament weeks.
During tournament weeks.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
Not now, no. But it's different because people have learned. We didn't know anything. Don't lift, don't run, don't get explosive. Oh, by the way, don't jump.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, now it's
right. Explode,
exactly
jump. Exactly what was wrong with my game of being explosive and jumping out of it was now that what's right about what to do in the game of golf.
Crazy.
And so don't use the ground. You're supposed to slide your legs across and roll your ankles gently. I was not like that. And so fitness has gotten infinitely better. Recovery. Most guys went to the bar to recover. Yeah, you know, it was
Mental
different,
recovery, I
right?
guess.
It was just a different time, and it was a
Physical recovery.
and it was a level playing field because pretty much everyone.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I want to know how you prepare for a golf tournament.
Well, I hit balls maybe 20 minutes, putt a little bit, smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes, drink 3 Diet Cokes, and go to the first tee. Some days I won't even go to the range.
Tiger's approach to the fitness aspect is, I wouldn't say extreme, but it's certainly taking to another level. I think there was other golfers before him that did work out and talked about the importance of being fit and strong and have flexibility.
He brought a lot of physicality to the game. It takes a mainstream player and then the world's best player to kind of make it realize that this is a physical sport. And it demands a lot of the golfer.
Are you kidding me?
And he was really one of the first guys also that really focused on his gym work as well. And now he's very focused on his recovery as he's continued to age. But when he first came out on the tour, there nobody was doing that.
He's pulverized that one.
What I was doing was all experimental, just like on the fly, trying to figure it out. Okay, that worked. Okay, great. We try that. Oh, no, that hurts. Okay, we don't do that.
Get in. Let's go.
The only other person I saw in the gym was VJ. So it was just VJ and I bouncing stuff off of each other. Like he's, slamming these big dumbbells, like 80-pound dumbbell chest presses. I'm like, okay, I got to do that. So I started lifting like that. Double D starts to get in the gym at that time, and Double D got into running. He went, I think, 9 months or so where he ran every day, 5 miles a day, every day, never took a day off, and dropped down to about 6% body fat, was just chiseled, ripped, and his game got good, got to #1 player in the world.
And as the years have gone by, people have understood that, the purpose of being in the gym and getting stronger and putting on muscle is so that your body can handle the loads.
We didn't understand recovery tactics. We just kept pushing it. It was like the Bad News Bears. We're trying to figure it out together, right? We didn't understand.
You can do it. He might get hurt doing it.
Or if I can do it heavier than him, then he'll see it, and then he knows he can't keep up with me.
Yeah.
So it's a mental advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what time you go in the gym in the morning? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get there a little bit earlier than him, and already have my sweat going.
The claret jug awaits. Will it be the final jewel in the career Grand Slam for Tiger Woods, trying to become the youngest player to win all 4 majors? He and David Duval tee off next at St. Andrews.
In 2000, you win the Grand Slam in your first try, and it's at St. Andrews. Where's that rank on your list of golf achievements?
Winning, get chills over it. Just thinking about winning the career Grand Slam at St. Andrews at the home of golf is as good as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final game of the 129th Open Golf Championship. On tee, Tiger Woods.
I happened to win both Opens that year at 2 iconic courses.
And let the Tiger Woods coronation begin officially.
Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. Just to get it out of the way, basically. I didn't have to wait. It was my first time around to complete the career Grand Slam. And I go out there and I had it on a string. There are certain times I really played well. 97 at the Masters on the back 9 after the first 9 holes, so I shot 40.
Yeah.
That week at St. Andrews, I felt like I had it on a string. Whatever shot I wanted to play, I could play. Whatever trajectory, whatever window I saw, I hit.
That one you're talking about? That's the one right there, Fight. That's the one you're talking about.
I could hit it to 50, 60 feet because I know I was going to lag it down to a foot.
Yeah.
I just felt like everything was on a string from tee to green. And I've never had any other tournament like that.
Right.
This is huge. He's put it on yet again and made it look easy.
I had days in which, I could do whatever I wanted to a golf ball and I shot low scores. Of the 4 days, I didn't have it like that. Nothing was like that.
Phenomenal in all aspects of the game.
Time in Pebble in 2000 was like that. I just had every shot on a string, and it just happened to be at St. Andrews.
In that, going for the slam.
Going for the career Grand Slam.
For an Open you hadn't won.
He'll burst into view and the crowd will cheer. And hundreds of flashbulbs popping.
He can't help but have thoughts of the history.
He won't think a whole lot about it, I don't think, until years from now.
It was fun at that time because I was playing well, Ernie was playing well, Double D was playing well. There was a lot of hot players all playing well at the same time, and we're kind of going at it. And I happened to, happen to get those guys.
It's a good time to have it on a string.
Yes, it was.
He's won them all. The Grand Slam. The youngest man in the history of the game.
What an amazing place, too, and that finished. Because you get the hardest hole in the course, followed by, maybe the easiest hole, but it all depends on the wind.
It all depends on the wind. You can drive it on the green. I have played there in the Dunhill Cup when it was played in October. Not the Dunhill Links, but Dunhill Cup, the team event. And I hit driver 5-iron in 18.
That's wild.
I mean, it's right. I should just think about that, right? It's a lot of ball days. It's just a different time. And
we're going to lean on this one.
Yes.
I can make sure that we're going to close that face down a little,
got
too.
past a hard path down there.
That's crazy.
And then you kind of chip in a 5-iron up there on top, somewhere on top, and try and get the hell out of there. And I've played there where we played under ice on the first hole. I hit 6-iron, almost hit it in a burn.
Yeah.
Because it just lands and it's on ice. It's just going. It's a cool place. And I know you know this, but one time a year they play it backwards. They play 1 to 17 green, 2 to 16 green, 3 to 15 green. I've always wanted to play it that way. And if you look at how the golf course is set up, it sets up for openings into all those holes.
Yeah, 17, the Sunday pin is actually a way cooler pin.
I know, right?
From 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the golf course is very ingenious in how it's set up.
My biggest takeaway from playing with Tiger was the amount of intensity that he took to every shot, and that's something I've talked with a lot of guys about. And Tiger was just so different in a sense of the way he approached each shot. It was like the last shot he was ever going to hit. I've only played with Tiger once in a tournament. I played with him in the 2020 Masters, and I think he made a 10 on the 12th hole, and he birdied, I think, 5 of the last 6. And it was like, what's this guy still playing for him? He's won the Masters 4 or 5 times. And I just admired the intensity that he brought to each round. That's something that I try to emulate.
Something a little more broad. Guys, including Scotty, when he played with you, he publicly mentioned how he was inspired, how essentially you never give up. Pretty common amongst us professional golfers, but I know guys who, they can mail it in and make it easier for themselves. What does it mean to you to be a professional golfer and the pride that it takes to never give up on the course, regardless of injury, how you're playing, the whole shebang?
Tiger Woods has 5 feet 1 inches to breathe life into a potential 8 straight PGA Tour wins. The streak lives on.
I can't honestly look at myself in the mirror that night if I mailed it in. I can't. I love what I do. I take great pride in what I do. Now, why the hell would I ever bag it? If I get a chance to, we have 18 holes. We have 5 hours or 4.5 hours. How can you not focus for that time?
Yeah.
And, suck it up.
And how many other people want to be there?
I have that time. This is like my life. This is what I've been training for or preparing for my entire life to be able to have this opportunity. Why would I ever bag it?
He needs to be careful with jets, John, not blast it through the fairway.
Oh, you better be careful with the rest of the round.
Very quickly again.
Oh, boy.
Just fight to the end.
That will be a triple bogey 7.
That part I don't understand. And that's probably why I got the cut streak I got. Because I never packed it in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I got to 142, which I think is a good number.
If I go a full season without missing a cut, that's really good. Because you know how hard it is, and I know he didn't have his A game all the time, but still to have his B game at certain tournaments and still making all those cuts is incredible. I would say his cut streak was unbelievable. All full field events. He never played any of the smaller events. It was always the best events. And he never missed a cut. That's pretty unbelievable.
The 142 cuts in a row. He had some off weeks in there, I know. But to make that many cuts, never willing to just, oh, this isn't the week for me, those kind of things, is so impressive.
Another errant tee shot at the par 4 10th and a bogey 5. 7 over through 10 holes. And he moves to a tie for 48th place.
You shot over par your first 9 holes plenty of times.
I did.
Right?
I did, and that happens. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You just keep fighting.
Sometimes it feels like you're trying to win a tournament, because you don't have your best stuff. I'm more nervous sometimes around the cut line than I am trying to win a golf tournament.
I know I was.
Just because it's like,
if you don't make a cut, you can't win the tournament.
yeah, exactly.
So,
you never know what happens
right.
Saturday or Sunday, right?
Right.
It's especially like a U.S. Open. Those are like, you squeeze in there, you never know.
You never know.
If you don't have your stuff, yeah.
I won Torrey Pines one year, and it was 98. I made the cut on the number with a birdie on the last hole. Last off on 10 on the south. I shoot 62, and then I shoot 65 and win the tournament.
An eagle finish.
You thought maybe Birdie would do it, but if you're going to go out in style.
So, even if you squeeze on the number, you can still win a golf tournament. Yep. But if you're not on the weekend, then you can't win the golf tournament. So I always wanted to win, so hence I had to focus on the first step, which is making cut.
So, question about what's fascinating in other sports is you don't have these multi-generational impacts other than NJ with sneakers, stuff like that. Like, obviously we all know he's impacted multi-generation, but it's very rare because 10 years or 10 years. In golf, you were able to impact people 3 generations while you're still playing. You win in 97 in the U.S. Open in 2000, the one on the broken leg in 2008, and then your win back at the Masters in 19. That's 22 years apart between Masters. So you've got these kind of 3 generations of people playing golf where dads told their kids, or kids started to watch, or even they were too young, and then now they grew up and they were teenagers watching in 19, and their dads were, teenagers and your first one. Does that hit you? Do you understand that the significance of that kind of impact, and do you hear about it a lot from other people? Like which one?
I probably hear about it more now that I'm aged significantly since 97. Yeah, you have to understand, I won in 3 different decades there, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what's neat about our sport, is that, I don't want to sound rude or anything, but in this sport, you're measured by decades played. Okay, so it's not, in the NFL, you had Terrell Davis, who played 9 years and is in the Hall of Fame. You play 9 years out here, you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame. And you got to do it for decades. And so that's what's interesting about our sport. And a lot of the things that I learned are from guys who played literally in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. So have an opportunity to pick Byron Nelson's brain, Gene Saracen's brain, Sam Snead's brain, and then here I am, talking to you, in the connection that we have from all these different generations. That's what's neat about being multi-generational in our sport, and to have been able to have a career as long as I have, it's been a lot of fun to probably see the game of golf change more than any other time period in history. A total shift in the game of golf, and to be a part of that shift and a part of that change, very fortunate, very blessed. It's been fun, dude. It's been a lot of fun.